Welcome to ProjectME, the podcast. I'm your host, Tiffany Carter, the founder of ProjectME, multimillionaire entrepreneur, former TV newscaster, money-making expert, female empowerment speaker, and self-proclaimed office supply addict. My mission is to take the mystery out of making big money. Every week on ProjectME, the podcast, I'll share success tips, strategies, and stories from other entrepreneurs, experts, and millionaires, showing you exactly how you can achieve your most exceptional life. Now let's get to it. Exciting announcement for all of my listeners. I've officially opened my exclusive group, the ProjectME Passive Income Posse, to the public. This group is by application only, so we can keep the group high vibe and spend our time, energy, and expertise only helping those of you who truly want massive success and impact. You get live weekly trainings from me, special guest coaches, and direct access to me and my business partner for all of your questions. To learn more and apply, go to projectmewithtiffany.com, click on Work With Me, and select ProjectME Posse. And of course, any questions, feel free to DM me at ProjectMeWithTiffany. Welcome to the podcast and Posse, ProjectME with Tiffany Carter. I am your host, Tiffany, and today we are going to get you guys to stop sucking at sales or thinking that you suck at sales with this mini sales training we're doing right here in your damn ear. And if I'm not in your ear, I'm assuming I'm on some kind of a speakerphone. So who's listening? Anyone else in the house listening? Kids, husband, wife, anyone? What's up? All right, let's get this thing rolling. So first off, most everyone thinks they suck at sales, especially in the beginning. Because it's easier to tell ourselves that we suck at sales than it does trying to figure out how to get more comfortable with it, if that makes sense. So, for example, we're going to my analogies. When I tried skiing all of 2 times, Midwest girl here, okay? Went and tried skiing, and what did I tell? I should say. I've reframed it since then, but what did I tell everyone? I just suck at skiing. I suck at skiing. Well, I only did it twice. Like that's not really fair. And I say the same thing about surfing. Here I'm out in LA. I actually tried surfing for the first time in Hawaii, and it did not go well. I swallowed sand, was not cute. And I kept telling everybody when I was just in Hawaii, when people asked, do you surf or have you surfed or whatever? And it's I kept saying, I suck at surfing. And then I had to catch myself, and it's well, that's not really fair to say. I've only really tried it a couple of times and only had a professional lesson by someone who was, a so-so teacher one time. Same with skiing. One time, no instructor. One time, an instructor. How? Well, of course you're not going to be good. So a lot of people do that with sales. Maybe have tried to sell something. Maybe it was in a job. Maybe it was in a high school job, a college job, something right outside of college, or one of your first jobs or something like that. And you were just so awkward and weird and shy and uncomfortable. And so you just slapped a label on it that you suck at sales, or you watch other people, maybe on video, online, or in real life at work, who just seems so easy for them, and they're outgoing and charismatic, and they just love people and being around people all the time. Well, yeah, they might be good at it. We don't really know. I mean, I have no idea unless you're close with someone, or you're working a company with someone who really is a top closer. I wouldn't put that out there. You really don't know what that person's making. They could just be really super friendly and really good with people and not know how to sell. And believe me, I coach a lot of them where you're wow, you have all the makings. You're this great communicative extrovert who's high energy, and you can't sell. Selling is a skill. Selling is a skill, just like skiing, just like surfing, just like any sport. It is a skill, and it's something that you can't just like learn in one course or in 1 year at a sales type job or in your business and then not do it for a while and then do it again, just like any type of sport or even with writing, right? You get rusty when you don't do things. So stop saying you suck at sales. Say you're new to it. So reframe it. I'm new to it. You can even say I've not been trained, or I've not been properly trained. You could have had a boss. I forgot about this job. I don't know how many of you guys have had like really freaking random jobs that you weren't there very long that you forgot about until like one day something like prompts your memory and you're like, oh my God, how weird. I had that job. I was reminded the other day that for a really short stint, this was probably after I was picking up dog shit at a doggy daycare off Ventura Boulevard, after I was an on-air TV newscaster, like, you know, knowing I was minutes away from a nervous breakdown. After I picked up dog shit and realized like that wasn't working for me, I was like, well, I need to make more money than this. I ended up like trying to sell copy machines. I'm not joking. Like copiers, like commercial copiers, like they're a lot of money. I think they're like 50 grand. There's ones that are 100 grand. So it's almost like selling like luxury cars. Very bizarre. Didn't last long. That's another story for another episode. That was like the worst boss I ever had in my life. That deserves an entire episode. Anyway, I could have said to myself, I sucked at sales. That was a sales job. Now, I sold myself in getting the job, but I don't think that was that hard. Like, how many people really want to be a copier salesperson? Like, seriously. And so when I was in the job and, you know, you have a manager and they give you some training, I don't remember anything from the training or that manager. So obviously it wasn't good. It didn't stick. It wasn't meant for me. But I could have sat there and gone, I suck at sales. And luckily I didn't. I didn't say I sucked at sales. I just said like, I have no desire to sell copiers. So my point in sharing that story, I went off on a tangent, is sometimes we think we suck at something because it's not the right thing for us to be promoting or sharing or marketing or influencing if we really aren't into it. So for those of you in network marketing and affiliate marketing who are listening, and I'm a huge proponent of having a network marketing, affiliate marketing arm of your entire, you know, wealth income streams for your business. Huge fan. But if you don't absolutely freaking love whatever the network marketing company is or product or how it helps people or affiliate product or service, you're not going to be able to sell it. You won't even be able to sell it even if you became my apprentice for 5 years. You might sell a couple and that's it. And guess what? Even if you sold a couple, you might not feel even good after you sold it. You'd probably feel kind of gross and dirty, and we don't want that. So it starts with reframing how you're looking at things. If you keep telling yourself you suck at something, you're going to continue to suck at something. Your brain will continue to look for evidence that you suck at it, and you will actually attract evidence feedback from other people that you suck at it. So you will attract bosses or strangers or potential clients saying no. You will actually make your own self-fulfilling prophecy out of it. So instead say, I'm new at sales. I'm just learning sales. I've never been trained at sales, or I've never been properly trained at sales. One of those 4 statements is the truth. Not I suck at sales. That it's just not. I don't suck at surfing. I don't suck at skiing. The truth is I have never put in the time, effort, dedication, and discipline to learn how to do either of those sports. That's the truth. Not that I suck at it. Okay, you guys get my point. Now, the next thing, for those of you who've had some wins, you know, maybe you are doing private coaching, maybe network marketing, where you're building a network marketing team of people, you know, who work with you, but you're also, you know, selling the products and the services in your network marketing company. Or maybe you do affiliate sales to products that you love online, or you're a blogger. generally any kind of sales this will apply for, online or offline, makeup, cars, horses, clothes, you name it, services of any kind. So what I notice happens with sales especially is if your mindset is off at all, you're likely not going to close the sale. And this happens with me too. And this is after a gazillion years of sales training. I have over $100 million in sales transactions in my career. That is a lot of selling and a lot of successful selling. Now, ask me the number of what is my number of sales I didn't make. Like, let's quantify that. I've never really thought about it to add it up. Because who wants to look at that? But I can tell you that's in the millions too. Not, thank God, the amount of sales I closed is much higher than what I've didn't close. But I've lost some big sales before. I've lost a lot of little sales before. And when I really look at, okay, when I lost the sales, sure, there's a percentage of people where it's just not a right fit. It's just not good timing. There's a small percentage of that. Most all the time, it is because of my own mindset. My mind was not in a good space from something else going on in my life. I was not feeling confident. Something had deterred my confidence. It could have been something from outside work life. Someone could have said something to me that was really eating at me. Maybe my health wasn't great, or I wasn't sleeping well or eating well, and I just felt like crap. And when we feel like crap, we think like crap. When we think like crap, the world is crap, and no one wants to buy from someone like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's how that domino effect can happen in our lives. So anytime I don't close a, so to speak, a sale, a client, a service, a product, whatever it is, the first place I want you guys to look at is yourselves. And I don't mean it like get the bat out and start beating yourself up. That's a behavior that, I did my entire life. And by the way, it doesn't work. So let's not do that. But more so look at it like a true business owner. Like you're making a true assessment. You have to kind of almost separate from yourself. Like if you hired an employee to do sales for you, sales, marketing, promotion, influencing, and you really like the person and the person's, seems like they have a good skill set, but they weren't, closing sales that week, or things weren't flying that week. You wouldn't, I hope you wouldn't, get out a bat and beat them with it. HR would come for you. The labor board would come for you, but you wouldn't like berate them and be like, oh, they're an idiot. They just suck, whatever, unless it was week after week, and not the bat part. I don't recommend that. So you would then maybe in your own head and then have a discussion with them on assessing what happened. So investigating what happened. So I want you to investigate within yourselves what happened and take an honest look. What was my mood that day? How did my body feel? How was my energy that day? What has been going on in my life that day or week? You might have had a really down month. I've had that happen where it's been an entire month. I've had 2 months that have been really down. And when I went through and did that own investigation on myself, what I always noticed is that it had something to do with like my body, mind, or spirit being off. I wasn't feeling quite right. I wasn't eating right, sleeping right. I had toxic people in my life draining at me. I wasn't taking enough time for self-care. I kind of started losing my mojo because maybe I wasn't bringing in as much money as I was used to, or maybe a launch went bad. Maybe something didn't click. And so then I started within that negative thinking with the inner bully started going, right? Maybe you shouldn't be doing this. You just need to quit. Who do you think you are? Oh my God, I can't believe you quit your corporate job. Now what are you going to do? Now how are you going to pay the bills? Now you're going to live in a tent surrounded by like Post-it notes and Sharpie markers because that's all you seem to spend your money on. My brain just starts down this crazy path, and that's taking out a bat on yourself. That's emotional and verbal abuse on yourself, taking out that bat. So how do you think I showed up and I'm looking at my calendar or whatever, and it's like, okay, now I have a call with a potential client to land at 2:00, or, a presentation or something like that at 2:00. And how do you think I'm going to show up on that call? Even if I wash my face, I did jumping jacks, I put on great music, I drank, celery juice or whatever the latest thing is to drink. By the way, you guys, seriously, like, is this celery juice really a thing? Like, let's be real. I mean, we know it's not bad for you, but like, to get to the point where you buy like the machine and really go for it and like all the celery, seriously, is this something I have to start doing? Please let me know. DM me at ProjectME with Tiffany. Let me know. Legit. I need to know this. So you do all those things to get on, to get prepared, because you're like, but your mindset is going, I need to make this sale. I need to make this sale. I haven't made a sale in forever. I need to make this. I need to close this client. I have bills coming up. I haven't closed a client in X amount of time. I need to make sure this happens. This other thing that I launched really didn't work and it didn't turn out how I was supposed to. So that money's not coming in. And then I had an unexpected bill over here. I really need to make this. And then the other side of your brain is like, okay, calm down. You'll be fine. Play it cool. Like, I listen to podcasts. I listen to ProjectME with Tiffany Carter. And she said, you have to play it cool and focus on the fact of if you want them as your client, not not about getting them to like me, similar to dating. So I'm trying to play it all cool here. And then you get on the call and you're acting. And as much as some of us might think we're pretty good at acting because we act in other areas of our lives, we put on a fake mask when we have to. Maybe we're acting all the time and don't even know it, which was most of my life. I had no idea. I was too afraid to show up as the real me. I didn't know who I was. So I thought I was pretty good at being like a chameleon and hiding my pain and hiding my struggle. And you know what? You're not. You can't hide energy. So even over the phone, even over a video call, especially in person, you can't hide that energy that's going on, that scarcity mindset, the inner bully, that where you really feel terrified, you feel small, you feel unmotivated, frustrated, desperate. You people can smell it. Trust me, because I have been sold to many times, especially for my other company, since it's been around a long time, 7-figure business. So vendors, those kind of people, I get sold all the time, a lot of proposals, and I can just smell it when someone is like desperate for my business. So either it turns me off or I negotiate them down to such a ridiculous price because they let me. And that's not really good. That's not my problem. The person let me do it. I am a business person after all, but that's what happens. So then you don't make the sale, or you do like the cardinal no and let someone negotiate you down on pricing that wasn't negotiable in the first place. And it depends on your business. Obviously in car sales, real estate, you're dealing with big corporations, you do negotiate. But when you're dealing in the personal branding, coaching, network marketing, affiliate marketing, influencer space, I do not recommend at all lowering your prices, because it's never about price. It's about your energetic value was off and they aren't feeling you're worth it because you don't believe you are. You don't believe you're worth it. Even though you're faking it till you make it and you think you're faking it, inside, even if it's buried deep, you don't believe you're worth it. Because that's the only reason someone would try to negotiate price with you on something like that. It's not unless you're selling a car, like I said. You're selling, diamonds or whatever. This is not that. So I want you guys to take that assessment on yourself and look back on, maybe it's right now. Maybe it's a course that's not selling. Maybe you wrote this really great ebook or a guide some kind of cool thing. Maybe it's an app. I don't know. Whatever it is, jewelry pieces that you poured your heart into, maybe amazing blog posts and no one's visiting your blog and you're a good writer, right? It all goes back to yourself and what you're vibing. And it could sound stupid. It would have sounded a little stupid and annoying to me to hear it, because I didn't want to have to look within. I wanted it to be tangible. I wanted you to tell me, well, just tell me, Tiffany, what am I saying wrong? What am I doing wrong? Just tell me and I'll fix it, right? Because I was determined, driven person. Like, I was a really good student. Just tell me and I'll fix it. And it's like, yeah, sometimes you are doing things that are not effective and don't work and turn people off and you don't know it. So that is something that, I work on, whether you do a 90-minute intensive session with me or you do private coaching with me. Both you can get on my website and apply for it on my website at ProjectME with Tiffany.com. So we can go through those things. And sometimes there are those. Most of the time, it is all mindset and it's buried, or you've told yourself a lie long enough that you believe it, but you're bullshitting yourself. Our brains are so sophisticated and it's not something we can unravel ourselves. You can get to a certain point of unraveling yourself and that's about it. I went as far as one could go, being left to my own devices. And when that didn't work anymore, I finally surrendered and got help. It just, you can't see what you can't see because our minds are so sophisticated and cunning. So the best thing that you can do for yourself is, number one, reframe what you're saying. You don't actually really suck at anything. So I'll joke and say I'm not a good cook. No, I don't. That's not true. I actually can really follow a recipe well. I'm a fucking Virgo. I just hate cooking. I find it boring. I find it stressful when it's for multiple people. And I would rather be podcasting or making money or floating in the pool, anything really. I would rather be plucking my eyebrow hairs, quite frankly, than doing that. That says a lot because that hurts sometimes. So I don't suck at it. So it's first reframing that. The second thing is taking a true inventory of yourself, an assessment of yourself. So do a self-assessment just as you would if you had an employee that was doing promotions, marketing, sales for you, or you were managing someone that was doing that. Do that same assessment on yourself. This is like self-management, basically. What happens is when we do a lot of our work on our own and we aren't yet big enough where we don't have a team, even if we do have a team, if we don't have someone we're working with that can give us an unbiased assessment of ourselves, someone we respect, we trust, we admire, our brains end up coming up with even more crazy stuff to solidify these beliefs of I suck at sales. Maybe I'm just not good at this. No one wants to buy my stuff. I thought I was a good writer, but I'm not getting any traffic or no one's liking or following me. I must not be meant to be doing this. And then you give up on a dream. Maybe it's network marketing. Maybe you're like a Beachbody person or whatever, and you freaking love it. You love Beachbody. You share about it all the time. And it's like no one's joining your team. And then you go to one of those big rah-rah events and you see all these people succeeding and having team t-shirts and all this shit. And you're barely, scraping by, certainly not enough to quit your 9 to 5. And you're going, I must suck at sales, suck at network marketing. People must not like me. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this. When actually none of the above is true. Perhaps you just haven't been trained properly by the person who was the right teacher or trainer for you. I have had a lot of amazing world-renowned sales trainers. I've even had semi-privates with Tony Robbins back when I was in pharmaceutical sales. I've had incredible sales trainers, but you want to know what? Some of them didn't resonate with me. And these are famous people, or they're held in high regard. And I'm sure they're amazing for some people. Some of them weren't for me. So you just haven't been properly trained with someone that you resonate with. Let's not tell ourselves this crazy lie that you suck. Do you guys see what I'm saying? Do me a favor. You love this episode. This helped you at all. Even if it helped you 5%, that's 5% better than before you started listening. I need you guys to do me a favor. Please leave a written 5-star iTunes review for the show. It's really simple to do. If you don't know how to leave an iTunes review, because maybe you listen on Spotify, you listen on Google Play or one of the other many platforms that you're on, you can still leave an iTunes review. So just Google it. Just like anything else that you really want to know, Google it. It'll take you 90 seconds tops. It'd really mean a lot to me. This is how iTunes determines if they're going to like show and promote your podcast to more people, basically. It's that serious. Also, big news, we are now on iHeartRadio, which is major. You can't just like submit and get on iHeartRadio. They have to accept you. So we are now a featured podcast on iHeartRadio. So if that is a station and an app you love using because you listen to it, for music and other things, you can listen to Project Me with Tiffany Carter right there. Any sales questions you guys have, any areas that you're struggling with or you feel stuck, DM me at Project Me with Tiffany. I'm here to help. You don't suck. You just don't know what you don't know. All right? Wishing you great health, wealth, and worth as always. Love you guys. If you enjoyed this podcast, please write a 5-star review on iTunes. Not only will this make me super happy, but it will allow more listeners to find our special show. Simply help me help others.